Welcome back to Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. Thanks for joining us again. Our guest is Jeff Schweitzer. Jeff was a science advisor during the first Clinton administration. He's also the author of the book Beyond Cosmic Dice. Sir, we thank you so much for joining us.
Delighted to be here.
I want to talk to you about what's going on with oil. Obviously, it's on the minds of Americans. We have a massive oil disaster in the Gulf. There have been moves to impose moratoria. Arnold Schweitzer in California has imposed a moratoria. President Obama has tried, but the courts have pushed him back. Talk to us about that issue.
Well, the moratorium is essential. If you think about it, if Detroit made a sedan, a family sedan, that randomly blew up on the road, we would expect that factory to be shut down until that problem was resolved, even if it meant job loss at the factory during the hiatus. But we're being asked to continue building that car without solving the problem and driving it. That's exactly what the far right is wanting us to do with deep drilling. It makes no sense to oppose the moratorium. We need to understand exactly what happened there, how we can solve the problem, and have on hand the technology to address blown wells at 5,000 feet before we move forward.
So why is it that President Obama's administration is having such difficulty getting a moratorium passed through the courts? Do you have a sense?
I do, because of the local politics. We are now descending into a deep pit of partisan politics. And the fact that there's even opposition to the moratorium, which only makes sense, is demonstration of that. And what's happening locally in Louisiana and the coast states is they are pushing the idea that a moratorium will lead to job loss. In fact, it's a fallacious argument. In fact, in the end, if we use this opportunity to shift to renewable resources, we'll actually be creating jobs, not losing jobs.
I think it's fair to say that the United States, California, is moving in that direction, but it's going to take some time. So during that period, we still need fossil fuels.
Definitely. And
so could one argue that if we put in this moratorium off American shores, we become more dependent on foreign oil in the Middle East? You know, they hate us anyway, so right. It makes it a worse situation.
Well, the moratorium is not permanent, and we are looking at ways to move forward. It does not affect, it's very important to understand, it does not affect existing wells. There are 27 wells off the coast of California producing 14 million barrels of oil every year. Those are completely unaffected. The existing wells in the Gulf are unaffected. No one's saying we're going to do an instantaneous shift from oil, but we can use this opportunity to pivot more sharply toward renewable resources.
So, as you said, the environment is quite partisan. If you think about the governor of Mississippi, Haley Barbour,
yes.
His coast is being decimated, objectively speaking, yet he has opposed the moratorium. So how do we bring the parties together? Climate change has become very partisan on an issue that you believe is paramount to the future of the world.
Well, exactly. I think there is a way to bring people together by making a sound economic argument about why it makes sense to gradually shift from fossil fuels to renewable energy. California already produces 23% of all of its energy from renewable resources, wind, solar, and geothermal. If we shift as a nation toward renewable energy, California will be a leader. And whoever is going to be the leader in green technology is going to be the leader of the next industrial revolution.
I don't know if you're aware, but here in California we have a law called AB 32, which is the California Global Warming Initiative.
Right.
And there is an initiative on our ballot to delay the implementation of
right.
it. The argument is that it's a job killer. That's the argument.
Right.
Do you think that if that passes, we're at risk in California of losing that edge in green jobs?
Absolutely no. I mean, the idea, the argument that moving toward green technology results in job loss is completely false. It's never been proven. In fact, the opposite has always been proven to be true. If you remember, in the 70s, there was this hue and cry when we took lead out of gasoline. Gasoline stations were going to close, cars weren't going to be able to drive. None of that happened. It never turns out to be true. Green is the way to go.
Jeff Schweitzer, we thank you for joining us. He is the author of Beyond Cosmic Dice. Pick it up. My name is Brad Pomerance. Thanks for watching Local Edition. Back to HLN.
You made a big move, going right when everyone went left, followed a big dream with no guarantees, and found big opportunity, even in tough times. They may call your business small, but you've never done bigger things. Charter Business offers customized internet, telephone, and TV solutions to power your success. With reliable, cost-efficient services from one provider, you'll be ready to think even bigger.